I'm sure you're familiar with X-Acto knives. We don't use those. They cut fingers as well as they cut balsa. We use a razor saw. A razor saw has saw teeth on it, but you can't cut yourself on it. And it also does a better job of cutting wood as soft as balsa wood because it cuts the fibers rather than squashing them down. This is not what you would expect to use for model airplanes. It's Titebond carpenter's glue. We buy the white glue that they use in school projects and things in these bottles. We empty them, wash them out, and refill them with Titebond. We use a lot of styrofoam blocks. We use them for the building boards, which you'll see later on. And we also use shoulder pins. I really like these pins. I don't like the price of them. Hobby Lobby in Nashville gets 10 cents a piece for them. 50 of them are $5. I found out if you have a knife sharpening stone, it's helpful to, after you use a pair of wire cutters on these, there's a nasty burr on the end of it. Well, this is the down thrust for the Comanche. I want to make sure we get that angle right, so I made that. Sears sells a set of these mounted on a card for $10 in a variety of sizes. I think there's about a dozen of them for $10, and they're extremely handy. The other thing that is a handy clamp to have is a simple clothespin. However, I've bandsawed the end of that off to where it's square because a clothespin, the end of it is beveled on each side to make it slip on the clothesline easier, but we don't want that to happen. We want to have that, so if we want to hold something together while the glue is drying, we can stick that on like that, and we can slide it right up to where it's flush on the other part. So these parts were laser cut. This is balsa wood that was produced in the United States, and the plywood that the laser company uses is made in Europe, and that's metric, and it's a few thousandths thicker than the other parts, so I'll have to sand that down to where it's smooth. These propellers that we buy are made in China, molded plastic. The rubber that we use for these is called sport rubber. It's tan, it's strips, you buy it. I bought this from a company called SIG Manufacturing. It's an 1/8, and this piece started out 50 feet long. Then I use this wing fixture, and I put a clamp to hold that in place, and then I make sure that those pieces are down. And this is some small copper wire that I bought at the local hardware store. It's 20 thousandths diameter copper wire. This is file folder paper. We use an 11 by 17 piece of 2-inch thick pink styrofoam, and that's a standard size, so that's a 10-cent copy at the Kinco copy machine places.